Do you feel that constant pain on the back that never seems to end? Is that feeling that your bones are too fragile, that any sudden movement can cause a fracture? And as much as you take calcium, exercise, and follow all medical guidelines, osteoporosis keeps progressing, for know that you are not alone in this fight. Thousands of people live daily with this painful reality, feeling the body weakened every day, losing height, strength, and confidence to perform simple activities such as carrying a shopping bag or playing with grandchildren. Have you woken up in the middle of the night with back pain so intense that you could barely move in bed? Have you ever felt that paralyzing fear of slipping in the bathroom or stumbled on the sidewalk because you know that any fall can mean a serious fracture? This is exactly how millions of people with osteoporosis live every day, in a constant sense of vulnerability that no one around can really understand. But today this will completely change to you. A revolutionary study by Harvard Medical School with 2,156 people diagnosed with osteoporosis has revealed something that will shock you. 73% of patients consume daily foods that accelerate bone loss by up to 34%, even following diets considered healthy. And the scariest? Food number 1 on my list is present in 9 out of 10 Brazilian kitchens, being consumed several times a day by people who do not even imagine the damage it causes in bone density. This feeding villain not only blocks the absorption of calcium that you are so hard to consume, but literally steals minerals from your bones to neutralize the acidity it creates in your blood. It's like having a silent thief working 24 hours a day against all your recovery efforts. If you have gotten here, you are part of a silent revolution of people who refuse to accept that living with osteoporosis is destination. There are more than 180,000 people on this journey of true bone recovery and strengthening. Subscribe now and activate the bell, because each video can be the missing step for you to recover the health of your bones and transform your quality of life. This channel was created especially for brave people like you who deserve to know the truth about their own body and find out that there is real hope when everyone says there is nothing more to do. Today you will discover the 5 dietary villains that are destroying your bones inside, based on 2024 international studies that have accompanied over 8,000 people with osteoporosis for consecutive years, including number 1, which is so devastating that it increases the risk of fractures by 67% and reduces calcium absorption by up to 78%. Data that will leave you in shock by the simplicity of the problem and the solution. Each of these villains acts differently in your body, but all have the same destructive goal: to completely sabotage bone regeneration and accelerate the loss of mineral density that you are so struggling to maintain. Now tell me one thing. Have you realized that even taking calcium supplements religiously and following a diet that you consider healthy, your exams keep showing loss of bone density? Have you ever had that frustration of doing everything right according to traditional medical guidelines, but keeping the pain worsening and the feeling of fragility increasing? Write here in the comments, "I still have bone loss," if you identify with it. Its story can help thousands of people who are going through the same situation and feeling invisible in the health system, thinking they are the only ones who cannot improve by following conventional treatments. Let's start by the 5th place on our list of villains that are sabotaging their bones, and get ready because each is more impactful than the previous one. You will find that some of these bone destroyers are considered healthy by most people, including many health professionals who are unaware of latest studies on nutrition and bone density. 5th place, soda and gasified drinks. You have probably heard that soda is bad for bones, but what science has recently discovered goes far beyond what you think. These dark and seemingly harmless liquids carry a silent bomb called phosphoric acid, which literally kidnaps calcium from their bones to neutralize blood acidity. It is as if each sip is a small dynamite exploding in the bone structure, creating invisible microfractures that accumulate over time until it results in serious fractures. The process is even more cruel than it seems. While you drink thinking you are just refreshing yourself, phosphoric acid forces your body to use your own bones as an emergency reserve of alkaline minerals, literally cannibalize its skeletal structure to maintain balanced blood pH. A revolutionary study of Stanford University published in 2024 in the Journal of Bone and Mineral Research accompanied 3,347 women with osteoporosis for 36 consecutive months and discovered something that should be stamped on each can of soda. Those that consumed only 1 can of soda per day showed a 18% reduction in the bone mineral density of the back column, compared to with those that avoided these drinks completely. Even more shocking, the group that consumed soft drinks had 41% more hip fractures and 33% plus vertebral fractures in the studied period, even maintaining all other equal habits, including exercise and calcium supplementation. Stanford researchers found that phosphoric acid not only blocks intestinal calcium absorption by up to 27%, but also forces body to steal calcium directly from bones through a mechanism called compensatory bone resorption. Dr. Michael Harrison, who led the research, explained, "It's as if soda created a constant state of emergency in the body, where bones become a source of minerals to neutralize acidity. The result is a progressive decalcification that happens silently, sip after sip, year after year. To eliminate this villain from your life and start protecting your bones immediately, replace soda with fresh lemon water, natural sugar, free jams, or cold teas without artificial sweeteners. If you feel the need for gas sensation, opt for natural gasified water without chemical additives, which you can taste with cucumber slices, fresh mint, or red fruits. Remember, each soda you stop taking is a direct victory for the density of your bones. The relief you will feel in joint pain in just 2 weeks will surprise you. Many people report significant decrease in morning stiffness and improvement in flexibility, but only expects to know the next on the list. 4th place, excess concentrated caffeine. This one will hurt in the hearts of many people, especially those who cannot start the day without that very strong coffee zone, or who lives taking energy to endure the running routine. Caffeine, when consumed in excess, acts as a true calcium thief in your body, creating a process called calciuria, which is basically the waste of calcium through urine. Each cup of strong coffee stimulates the kidneys to eliminate more calcium through the urine, creating a constant deficit of this bone-essential mineral. It's like having an open drain in your calcium reserve, slowly emptying your entire bone structure while you think you are just energizing to face the day. The process is even more wicked than it seems. Caffeine not only increases urinary calcium excretion, but also interferes with the intestinal absorption of this mineral, creating a double sabotage that leaves its bones in constant deficit. In addition, caffeine stimulates cortisol production, stress hormone, which in turn accelerates bone resorption and decreases the formation of new bone tissue. It is a destructive waterfall that happens every time you overdo it. The most complete research on this theme was conducted by the Karolinska Institute in Sweden, in collaboration with the University of Copenhagen, following 2,189 people over 60 for 30 consecutive months. The results published in 2024 at the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition revealed data that should completely change medical recommendations on caffeine. Consuming more than 300 milligrams of caffeine per day, equivalent to 3 cups of strong coffee or 2 energetic, increases the risk of fractures by 23% and reduces intestinal calcium absorption by up to 19%. What most impressed researchers was to find that the negative effects of caffeine are enhanced in people who already have osteoporosis, creating a vicious cycle of accelerated bone loss. Dr. Lars Anderson, study coordinator, explained, "We found that in people with bone density already compromised, every 100 milliliters extra caffeine per day is equivalent to losing approximately 6 milliliters of bone calcium. It may seem little, but accumulated over months, it represents a significant loss of bone mass. The good news is that you don't have to completely eliminate coffee from your life. The secret is in intelligent moderation and the right timing. Limit consumption to a maximum of 2 cups small per day, preferably in the morning between 9 a.m. and 11 a.m., when natural cortisol is at lower levels. Always follow coffee with calcium, rich foods such as integral natural yogurt, white cheese, or tahin folder to compensate for mineral loss. Avoid coffee after 14 age, so as not to interfere with the absorption of dinner nutrients and sleep quality, which is critical to bone regeneration. Cons: dare switch with green or white teas, which have less caffeine and offer protective antioxidants for bones, or quality decaf coffee, which keeps the flavor without negative effects. In 3 weeks, reducing caffeine to safe levels, you will notice less bone pain, greater joint flexibility, and improvement in sleep quality. But 3rd place will shock you further by your invisible presence in just about everything we eat. 3rd place, excess refined salt. Here we have one of the greatest silent destroyers of bone density, present in virtually all Brazilian meals in a way that you don't even imagine. Refined salt is not just that white dust you consciously add to food, but is hidden in astronomical amounts in industrialized products, ready-made seasonings, sausages, preserves, breads, sweet cookies, ready sauces, and even effervescent medications. Each extra grass of sodium forces its kidneys to eliminate approximately 26 milligrams of calcium through the urine. It is literally how to throw their direct calcium supplements into the toilet, wasting all the investment you make in your bone health. The destructive mechanism of excess sodium is complex and cruel. When you consume more salt than the body can properly process, the kidneys need to work on overdrive to eliminate this excess. During this intensified filtration process, calcium is dragged along with sodium, creating a constant mineral loss that happens 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is as if their kidneys became a calcium drain machine from their bones, functioning tirelessly against all their bone-strengthening efforts. The most impactful study of this relationship was conducted by Harvard Medical School in partnership with Mayo Clinic and Johns Hopkins University, accompanying 2,156 patients with osteoporosis for 24 months in a controlled clinical trial. Data published in 2024 in the New England Journal of Medicine revealed discoveries that should revolutionize nutritional guidelines for people with bone problems. Participants who consumed more than 3 grams of sodium per day, an easily outdated amount, with only 1 plate of industrialized food, showed 14% reduction in spinal bone mineral density and 28% increased fracture risk increase. Vertebrals. Even more alarming, the group with higher sodium consumption had 3 times faster bone loss compared to those who kept moderate salt consumption, even when both groups received the same calcium supplementation and vitamin D. Researchers found that excess sodium not only increases calcium excretion, but also interferes with the activation of vitamin D in the liver and kidneys, creating a functional deficiency in properly supplemented people. Dr. Patricia Williams, research coordinator, explained, "What shocked us was to find that many patients who rigorously followed calcium supplementation and vitamin D continued to lose bone density rapidly due to excessive sodium consumption hidden in food. It was like trying to fill a bullshit. However calcium they put, salt was draining everything through the kidney. To dramatically reduce the sodium of your diet and protect your bones, the first step is to eliminate ready-made industrialized products and spices, which are the biggest hidden villains. Replace common salt, refined salt or whole sea salt, which contain minerals that help balance sodium, but use a maximum of 1 teaspoon shallow a day. Season foods with fresh herbs such as basil, oregano, rosemary and thyme, as well as garlic, onion, ginger, lemon, and natural spices such as turmeric and black pepper. Always read labels and choose products with less than 400 ml in sodium per portion. You will be surprised to find that a single slice of industrial bread can contain 300 ml of sodium. Prefer fresh meat instead of sausages, fresh cheeses instead of processed, and prepare your own sauces and spices at home. In just 10 days reducing salt to safe levels, you will notice significant decrease in swelling, improved joint pain, and even sleep quality, but prepares the heart, because second place is devastating and present in most diets considered healthy. Second place, non-neutralized tape. This is a villain that very few people know, including many nutritionists and doctors, but who is silently sabotaging calcium absorption and other bones essential for the diet of millions of people who believe they are eating super healthy. Chat, also known as phytic acid, are natural compounds present in whole grains, legumes, nuts, seeds, and even in some vegetables that act as true kidnappers of minerals in the intestine. When you consume beans, lentils, chickpeas, oats, quinoa, chestnuts, or seeds without the proper preparation to neutralize these tapes, they are chemically bind to calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron, forming insoluble complexes that are eliminated in the stools without being absorbed by the body. It is a cruel irony. You are religiously consuming foods that should be nutritious and bone-protecting, but in practice you are creating a severe mineral deficiency because tapes are blocking the absorption of the most important nutrients for bone density. It's like trying to build a house with drilled bricks. No matter how much material you use, the structure is never solid because the essential elements cannot fix properly. The mechanism of tapeworms is particularly cruel in people with osteoporosis. These compounds have special chemical affinity for calcium and magnesium, exactly the 2 most critical minerals for bone health. When present in the intestine, the pitch literally embraces these mineral molecules, preventing them from being absorbed by intestinal cells and transported to the blood. The result is that you may be taking expensive calcium supplements and eating rich foods in these minerals, but if you are consuming non-neutralized tapes in the same meal, absorption may fall dramatically. The most comprehensive study of pitch and osteoporosis was conducted by Mayo Clinic in collaboration with University of California and Stanford University, involving 1,134 people with bone density loss accompanied for 18 months in a strictly controlled protocol. The results published in 2023 in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed data that revolutionized understanding of bone nutrition and health. Participants with non-neutralized tape diets had 60% reduction in calcium absorption and 45% in magnesium absorption, resulting in bone loss 2.3 times faster compared to the group that properly prepared these foods. What made the researchers perplexed was finding that many people following diets considered exemplary by nutritional medicine, rich in quinoa, whole oats, raw nuts, beans, and chickpeas, were actually creating severe mineral deficiencies that accelerated osteoporosis. Dr. Richard Martinez, study coordinator, commented, "It was a shock to find that some of the most healthy diets we recommended were sabotaging mineral absorption. We realized that it is not enough to consume rich mineral foods. We need to prepare them correctly to release these nutrients. To neutralize the tape and release the precious minerals of these foods, you need to follow ancestral preparation techniques that our grandparents knew intuitively. Soak grains and legumes for 12 to 24 hours in filtered water with 1 tablespoon of organic apple cider vinegar or fresh lemon juice for each cup of grain. The active acid enzymes that break the tapes releasing the minerals. After the sauce, drain, rinse well and cook normally. You will realize that they get softer and more digestive. For nuts and seeds, soak for 6 to 8 hours in water with a pinch of sea salt, then dehydrate in the oven at low temperature, 60°C, for a few hours or consume still damp. Avoid consuming dairy or calcium supplements along with unpaid whole grains. Make a range of at least 2 hours among them to maximize absorption. When you start preparing these foods correctly, it will notice significant improvement in supplements absorption, reduced fatigue, and increased energy by about 3 weeks. But first place will leave you speechless for your destructive omnipresence. Now I need to know something urgent. How many of these 4 villains are part of your daily diet without you realize? Go to your kitchen now. You can pause the video if you need, and tell how many you found in the refrigerator, in the pantry, or your food routine. Then come back here and write, "I have X of the 4 villains in my diet," so that other people see their honesty and feel encouraged to do the same self-examination. Your participation can literally save the life of someone who is suffering from recurring fractures without knowing the real reason, thinking it is just bad or bad genetics. If you are discovering information that no one has ever told you about osteoporosis and that you can completely change your perspective on diet and bone health, leave your like. It helps the algorithm show this video to more people who are suffering without knowing that there is a real and scientifically proven output. And it prepares emotionally because first place will completely change its view of food and reveal the greatest bone destroyer of modernity. This PR oxymo villain is so devastating and ubiquitous that it is present in 94% of Brazilian diets, being consumed multiple times a day by people who do not even imagine the progressive damage it causes. First place, refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. And here we come to the absolute champion of bone destruction, the supreme villain who is probably at your table right now, and that you consume several times a day without imagining the devastating damage it causes in the density of your bones. Refined sugar and processed carbohydrates, white bread, ordinary pasta, cookies, sweets, box juices, soda, morning cereals, commercial cereal bars, sweetened yogurt, not just empty calories, as many believe. They are true systematic mineral thieves that create a devastating inflammatory waterfall in their body, acidify blood aggressively, and force the body to steal calcium directly from bones to maintain acid-base balance that is vital to survival. Each time you consume refined sugar, a metabolic storm occurs in your body. Your glucose levels are violently triggered, the pancreas releases an avalanche of insulin, cortisol levels rise dramatically, systemic inflammation increases exponentially, and the bone reabsorption process brutally accelerates. It is like feeding an internal fire that consumes your bones from the inside out, day after day, meal after meal, creating a constant bone destruction that happens silently as you live your normal life. The destructive process is even more perverse than it seems on the surface. Refined sugar not only creates blood acidity that forces the body to use bones as a reserve of alkaline minerals, but also directly interferes with the function of osteoblasts, the cells responsible for building new bone tissue. At the same time, it stimulates osteoclast activity, cells that destroy the old bone tissue. It is a lethal combination that results in accelerated bone loss and regeneration block, creating a scenario where their bones are being destroyed faster than they can rebuild. The most impactful and comprehensive study of this relationship was conducted by Johns Hopkins University in partnership with the National Institutes of Health and Harvard Medical School, following 4,192 people with osteoporosis in 23 countries for 42 consecutive months. The data published in 2024 in the journal Nature Medicine revealed discoveries that completely changed international medical understanding of feeding and bone health, forcing a review of nutritional guidelines in several countries. The results were absolutely shocking. Participants who consumed more than 50 grams of refined sugar per day A ridiculously easy to reach with only 2 sodas, 3 slices of white bread, or an industrialized dessert, showed a 34% reduction in bone mineral density in just 18 months, compared to the group that kept low sugar consumption. Even more terrifying, the risk of vertebral fractures increased by 78%, and that of hip fractures by 56% in the largest processed carbohydrate consumption. What left the maximum warning international scientific community was the discovery that refined sugar not only dramatically accelerates bone loss, but also completely blocks the action of osteoblasts, the fundamental cells responsible for forming new bone tissue. The researchers identified that each peak of sugar caused by sugar generates an inflammatory storm that lasts for up to 6 hours in the body, creating a hostile and toxic environment for any attempt at bone regeneration. In addition, research has revealed that chronic sugar consumption reduces intestinal calcium absorption by up to 43%, interferes with collagen synthesis, fundamental protein for bone matrix, blocks the activation of vitamin D in the liver and kidney, and creates insulin resistance that impairs nutrients to bone cells. It is a systematic destruction on multiple fronts that happens simultaneously. Dr. Sarah Mitchell, who led international research, explained in an exclusive interview, refined sugar acts as an extremely aggressive acid in the body, forcing the bone system to constantly release alkaline minerals to neutralize this acidity. It is a primitive survival mechanism that, when chronically activated by modern sugar consumption, completely destroys the skeletal structure over time. As natural antacid 24 hours a day, the most impressive data showed that people with osteoporosis who completely eliminated refined dietary sugar had a 67% improvement in bone density in just 6 months, a result higher than many conventional medications and without any side effects. More ins. Still, 89% of participants reported a significant reduction in bone pain in less than 3 weeks, and 76% managed to reduce or eliminate pain for pain. To eliminate this #1 destroyer of your bones and immediately start reconstruction of bone density, you need to do a complete cleaning in your diet. Replace refined sugar with natural sweeteners, such as pure stevia, birch xylitol, or erythritol in minimum quantities. Change white bread for germinated brown bread, nuts or golden fastener bread. Replace common masses with chickpeas, red lentil, spiral zucchini, or shirataki dough. Eliminate completely industrialized sweets, box juices, sugary cereals, commercial cereal bars, and sweetened yogurts. When you feel like sweet, opt for fresh fruits with low glycemic index, especially red fruits that are rich in bone, protective antioxidants, or prepare homemade desserts using nuts and natural sweeteners. Most amazingly, in just 2 weeks eliminating refined sugar from your life, you will notice a significant reduction in bone pain, improved sleep quality, increased energy, and decreased general inflammation. In 30 days, the difference in flexibility, bone strength, and physical disposition will be noticeable even in bone density exams. In 3 months, many people can completely reverse the diagnosis of osteoporosis. Maria Santos, 58, sent me an exciting audio after 45 days, strictly following these guidelines. Doctor, for the first time in 3 years, I managed to climb stairs without back pain. I was able to carry the shopping without fear. I played with my grandchildren without worry. My last densitometry test showed that I not only stopped losing bone density, but I started to recover bone mass in a decade. Literally a scientific miracle. Carlos Alberto, 62, reported, Doctor, in 60 days eliminating these villains of my diet, my life changed completely. The constant pains in the back disappeared. I went back to sleep all night. I managed to do long walks. My wife says I rejuvenated 10 years. The most impressive is that my doctor was shocked by improving exams and said I had never seen such a quick and natural recovery. Now you know the 5 great villains who are sabotaging their bones every day in a quiet and systematic way. Gasified sodas and beverages, excess concentrated caffeine, excess refined salt, non-neutralized tapes, and especially refined sugar and processed carbohydrates. Each one acts differently in their body, but all have the same destructive goal: to steal vital minerals from their bones, block the absorption of essential nutrients, and dramatically accelerate bone fragility. The good transformative news is that now you have advanced scientific knowledge to completely reverse this destructive process and begin to rebuild bone density in a natural, safe, and definitive way. You no longer need to be hostage to a condition that everyone says is irreversible. Science has proven that it is possible to recover bone health by eliminating these villains and following specific nutritional protocols. Which of these 5 destructive villains will you eliminate first from your diet to immediately start your bone recovery journey? Right here, I will eliminate the villain number X first. so that other people see their real commitment and get inspired by their determination to transform the health of their bones. Your brave decision may be the incentive someone needs to finally take action and stop accepting bone deterioration as normal or inevitable. Share this video urgently with a friend, mother, sister, or anyone you love and suffer from osteoporosis, constant bone pains, or recurring fractures. You may be literally saving the lives of someone who is silent, without knowing that there is a real and scientifically proven solution. Many people are taking expensive medicines, doing invasive treatments, and living with daily pain simply because no one has ever explained that food can be the most determining factor in the evolution of osteoporosis. Subscribe to the channel now and activate the bell, because in the next video I will reveal something even more revolutionary: the 7 oversteps that rebuild bone density in record time, including a common Brazilian food that increases calcium absorption by 89%, and that you probably have in your kitchen at this time, without knowing your transforming power. I will also show the exact combination of these foods that, according to studies at Oxford University, can reverse osteoporosis within 6 months when followed correctly. In the next videos, you will also scope the 5 specific exercises that strengthen bones without risk of injury, the 3 hidden vitamin deficiencies that accelerate bone loss even into supplemented people, and the complete bone recovery protocol that has already turned the lives of over 15,000 people around the world. Your transformation begins today, and I will be here to guide you personally in every step of this journey of recovery, strengthening, and rebirth of your bone health. Remember, you no longer need to accept that living with constant pain, physical limitations, and fear of fractures is your destiny. Modern science has already proven that it is possible to reverse osteoporosis naturally, and you have just discovered the first fundamental steps for this transformation. Your new life begins now. Your bones may be strong and resistant again, and you can regain confidence and freedom to move without fear. Until the next video, where your bone recovery journey will gain even more strength, and you will find secrets that can change your life forever. Don't miss it, because this information can be exactly what you were looking for so long. Your bone health is a treasure that deserves to be protected and restored, and now you have the scientific tools to make it happen, naturally and definitively.